Okay, so I have checked the pulleys and stuff for the front end where the dinette bench is. And now we have one more bench here underneath the back bed. And I need to figure out how I'm going to get in there to take those bottom screws out. But yeah, let's start with the top. So this cord, this black one here, this is our electrical cord that would plug into shore power. Over here you've got, I think this is the freshwater tank, and then of course you've got the wheel well down there. I'm not sure about all of that. I haven't been in here, so I kind of need to clean this mess out before I can get to that panel back there. Well, shoot. Right down there, you see that dark spot down there? That's actually my garage floor. Okay, so we definitely have a floor repair we have to do. I guess the next thing I'm going to do is take this rather moldy water tank out. If you look in there, ew, gross. Yeah, I gotta take that out. Meanwhile, on the other side of the camper, there was a large 3-drawer dresser. And in order to get to the lifters, I had to take the dresser apart. So here you can see where I've taken out both the dresser on the left-hand side and the bench on the right-hand side. And you can see that that lifter on the left is sinking. I went under the camper to see what was going on with that lifter. What you can see down here is actually the pulley that is underneath the lifter, but the wood here is clearly rotted. What we think happened is that water was running straight down the lifter channel and rotting the edge of the subfloor that the lifter channel sits on. You see 2 different colors of flooring here. The light green flooring is the original from 1973. At some point, one of the owners put down these adhesive flooring tiles, which are the yellow and brown. So in order for us to remove the areas of the subfloor that are rotten, we need to first peel up all of this tile and linoleum to see what the subfloor actually looks like. So these floor tiles are coming up pretty easily. They're not very thick, and they're pretty simple once I can get a good handle under them, that I just kind of grip it and lift up and out and the whole thing comes off. So going through that is coming out pretty easy. Okay, so I've removed about 2.5 feet of the second layer of flooring, and now I'm going to start working on pulling up the original linoleum. It's kind of sad because I kind of like the pattern, and if we could keep it I would, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to have to tear it apart. So here goes. So this is the original linoleum from 1973, and it is stuck directly to the subfloor. And you can see it's just delaminating as I try to lift it up. Yeah. So the paper underneath is partially stuck to the floor, and I'm not sure if I'm going to even be able to peel that all out. Oh, well, making some progress. Making a little progress. But I do need to see this subfloor because I need to see if the damage from the cable here, so water was running down the outside of this lifter and down into the edge of the subfloor on the opposite side. So we know we have to replace some of this subfloor, and we think probably about 2 feet wide all the way across the back of the camper. And we're trying to do that without taking the skin off. We just want to take off the luan and see if we can make repairs that way. So yeah, I'm just going to keep working on it. Okay, so you can see I've done some demolition. I've pulled up some of the flooring, disconnected electrical, cut into the corners so that I could see what we're dealing with. And the news is actually pretty good, to be honest. So in each of these corners where the curve of the outside is followed by the luan, there is a little bit of prior water damage. And this left side underneath here, that under there in the direct corner is a little soft and crumbly. And you can see the sunken lifter here. But these framing members are still in good shape. You can still see grain, they're still straight, they're dry, and even the framing here of the lifter is straight and dry. So on the other side, there we go. You can see a little prior staining in the corner here. Not much, but a little bit. And yet again, this, framing member is dry, and I probed it with a screwdriver and it's solid. And so are these framing members for this lifter that is slightly sunken. So it really looks like, we have some wall damage. We definitely need to replace this luan here, or just cut some of it, do a bead board and replace some. We could do that too. And then over here on this side, this is where that sink cabinet is, right here. And I'm going to be looking at that and removing it, because I want to see if there's any water damage underneath here. There's an old note someone wrote. To remove the panel, remove these screws. And he drew lines to the screws. Thanks, whoever said that. But I want to see underneath there to see if there's any water damage. The floor, actually, once I was able to get some of this linoleum backing up, yeah, aside from those very corner edges, this actually does not look too bad. And it looks like we're only going to need to replace maybe 2.5 feet of subfloor, assuming underneath the sink is still solid. But gosh, that's not half bad at all. Not half bad at all. So that's what I've got done so far. And next I'm going to be tackling this sink cabinet. I got a bunch of stuff kind of on top of it, but I need to remove this because I need to find out if there's any water damage against the walls underneath this sink. But for a 53-year-old camper, it looks surprisingly good. I've seen way worse on the internet. So yeah, I'm encouraged.